What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Tonight we're joined by special guest Tyler Davis. Tyler, welcome back.
It's been a minute. Thank you. I'm here.
We missed you.
Wasn't sure if you'd ever be back.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it. Kind of, work trip and small procedure last week, so
Well,
just needed some rest.
we're just glad that you got rested up. You're feeling better. Your work trip was your whatever trip was a success.
There's one nerdy thing.
Yeah. Oh.
I went to the Home Alone house while I was in Chicago, so that was cool. Yeah, it was kind of unexpected. Like, we went to dinner, and then they were like, hey, we're gonna, because we had drivers everywhere we went.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was super weird. I gotta talk about
bougie.
this. Yeah, it was a
Bougie.
pretty bougie trip, but like, they had like the big, like, the black SUVs that drove you around everywhere.
my
It was
gosh.
super wild. I was like, this
Oh.
is...
Were you ever
my
worried the one in
gosh.
front of you was just all gonna sudden flip,
This is
and the one
blow
behind
up.
you all of a sudden flipped? You're just like,
Yeah, I was a little worried, but I made it okay. But yeah, we went to the Home Alone house. That was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
already did that.
I'll talk more about my time away.
Baroque says, we all know Tyler has a side podcast he's been seeing.
That phase is over. But there was a time.
There was a time.
There was a time
There
where
was
I
a
did
time.
have a side piece. But yeah, that phase is over now, Baroque. Don't start no stuff. It won't be no stuff.
Brett's the one with the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brett's
We
got
haven't
the side
recorded an
piece.
episode in a while. Trevor's been super busy.
Yeah, he looks
Well,
busy.
you watched Endgame and posted that one.
Yeah, that's true. That is the
So
that is the
just end it.
it's the end of the MCU, really.
Is it really?
It's so funny.
You could talk about Shang-Chi, I guess.
We started that whole podcast to be like, is the new stuff really as bad as we think it is, and is the old stuff as good as we think it is? And we got through all the old stuff, and like the newer like Phase 4 or whatever just hasn't been important enough to us to get around to watch. So maybe that says something.
I think
about,
that answers the question
Might
you set
answer
out
the
to
question.
I
answer.
mean, you're not itching
Yeah.
to watch Multiverse of Madness again?
Oh man,
Hey, we got through Black Widow.
that is cinema.
So we watched one. Was Black Widow the first of Phase 4? Because Spider-Man.
Does it even count as Phase 4?
It was more like an epilogue.
Yeah.
An
Far
epilogue
From Home,
prequel.
Yeah,
And Far From Home was a kind of an epilogue too,
yeah. Anyways,
or a prelude to Phase 4.
Yeah.
An in
Yeah.
between.
It was
But I mean,
space filler.
No Way Home is entirely Phase 4, but it feels like it doesn't belong in any of the phases really.
oh yeah.
It's just
the movie.
I mean, it has Doctor Strange in it, but it's a Spider-Man movie.
yeah.
Maybe that's why that movie was so good.
Oh, and now there's. Well, maybe we can talk about that in news. But now it's like
Guardians 3.
Is the next
Good movie.
Spider-Man movie even happening?
Yeah.
Sony-
Beyond the Spider-Verse? Yeah, it's happening.
No. MCU Spider. You knew what I
Oh,
was
yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah,
about.
yeah.
How dare you take advantage of that to plug what will be the best movie of all time?
If the animators can survive it.
That's true. Please don't.
We know what you did, Sony.
We
know
do.
what you did.
We do, and it's no laughing matter. Anyways, take as long as you need on that movie because it's gonna be awesome whenever it comes out.
It was supposed to come out last month.
It was. There's
Like
first
March
off,
28, right?
if anyone actually believed that date,
I thought they
It's a
had
little bit
finished.
like- it's
I
a
thought
little-
they were both done already.
okay, that's fair. That's fair. But that's a little bit like Brett walking to Dune and being like, "Yeah, this is the whole movie. This is the entire story."
I'll never forget that.
In my defense, they announced them on the same day
Yeah.
with Across and Beyond. They're like, "Oh, we're not just doing a sequel. We're doing
Right.
2, and here are the dates."
Yeah. That's yeah.
And I was like, "Great. That means it was probably just too long, and they're splitting them up." It turns out they just never did anything on the third one. They just completely destroyed their animator's sanity on the second one. Oh my
They
gosh.
got a short film out of it.
I have a lot
I haven't
of
watched that yet.
faith in Amy
I'll talk about it
Pascal. But like, what a ball drop. Like, how do you not know that your
Wait, what
movie-
did you just say?
Amy Pascal? Isn't she she's the
Yeah, she's the
So-
Sony girl.
Sony-
Yeah, I know. I just was shocked you said you had faith in her.
she's done good with the Spider-Man stuff. You know, not the Venom verse crap, but like
We'll just pretend she doesn't do that stuff.
at least the MCU stuff and the animated stuff has been, and I get that the MCU, she's working with Marvel and whatnot, but that is on a studio head to, if you make this promise of a due date, right, of a release date, and even if you know you're probably not going to hit it, like, it can't come out that you just haven't started working on it at all. Like, that's just a terrible look.
I mean, it can just, but
I
yeah.
don't know.
Didn't they
Yeah.
announce 2 weeks ago or something? They're like, the script is done. This one is gonna rip your heart out. It's
Yeah.
just it was supposed to be out today, but
Yeah.
We're just finishing this now. Anyways. Yeah, so we didn't get a Spider-Man Spider-Verse trailer this week, but Luke, what other trailers did we get?
we got one today that I know you guys are really excited for, which is the Maxine
Yeah.
Yes.
movie.
I like this trailer a lot. I also just love the other 2 movies that accompany this trilogy. So really looking forward to this. I think it's a little disappointing with all the stuff that kind of went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's some of
there's
that.
a little bit of a black eye on it, but
Yeah.
I do think it looks good. I think aesthetically it's really neat. Looks like it's really well done. Ty West is an interesting filmmaker, just anyways, but it seems like each movie he's gotten a better cast, and I'm excited for this cast. I think it's pretty loaded.
Yeah. This feels like a proper Hollywood entry.
Yeah.
Into the
Which
and-
tracks
yeah.
with the story they're telling,
Exactly.
which I think
it
is cool.
Which is
That's what
it's
makes it so awesome.
such a unique blend of where the kind of originated from.
Yep.
And where it's built to, but yet it also is built into the story
Yeah.
of who she wants to be and where she's going, and it's in LA,
Yeah.
in Hollywood, and
When I was
there's a serial killer on the loose.
Dude, the Night Stalker.
I
It's
love
her.
it. Absolutely.
I-
We all know that.
I think too, just the way this whole thing kind of came to be. It's like he made X, had an idea, and they were like, do it. So they've all basically been filmed back to back to back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. I laughed really hard when Kevin Bacon was added to the cast because it's an 80s movie.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Just fits.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Big thumbs
Yeah,
up.
big thumbs up for me too. What you got next?
This is the Netflix show in the Sandman universe, Dead Boy Detectives.
I'm going to thumbs up this. It looks
Yeah, me
the
too.
right kind of
Yeah.
weird, and I think it looks neat.
Yeah, I'm excited. This looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, they had me in the Sandman universe, which doesn't take a lot of convincing because that show was incredible. But even outside of that, I think it looks a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me, vibe-wise, of Doom Patrol,
Oh,
So that's what I thought too. Watching
which was fantastic. So I'm really, really excited for this.
I think it just visually looks
it looks really
interesting.
yeah, it does. It looks
Like
good.
for everything from the editing of the trailer to the cinematography and the lighting, color palettes, and choices. It all just looks like it'll be fun to watch. But knowing that Neil's behind it and that it's a part of the Sandman universe is another really interesting kind of tangent that you can grab onto and.
Yeah. I'll talk about Neil later too. So that's kind of a
Neil.
fun little connection.
Yeah.
Luke, before you go to the next trailer, I wanted to bring up a trailer that you sent us a few weeks back, and we never talked about it on the show.
Huh?
Wild Robot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you sent that to us, and I don't think we ever discussed it.
I don't remember, but I watch that trailer every once in a while. I've watched
Dude,
it several times.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It
Looks really good.
It looks. So I watched it. So I was clicking through YouTube one day with Bren, and she saw it, and she was like, "Oh," and so I played it, and we watched it, and she's like, again? Like, she wanted to watch it again.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and so I watched it again, and I was like, man, this looks really cool, and it looks like a movie that could be pretty unique,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because I don't know, like, the cast is crazy, but like they
Yeah.
don't talk in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
There's no words.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, man, what is this? I'm really looking forward to
Why
it.
do you get a cast like that
For a movie with
I
no,
mean,
there
you
will
assume
be.
there will be,
Yeah.
but
sorry, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
I talked about it. I think that movie looks
Yeah, it looks great.
awesome.
It gives off like Wall-E vibes,
Yep.
and except instead of Wall-E cleaning up trash when everybody left, it's a robot trying to like preserve animals and
Yeah.
yeah, to me it's
save the world.
it's kind of got a almost, and it could just be some of the aesthetics, but it's almost got like a little bit like of a Death Stranding vibe with the
Now we're talking. baby.
black rocks and the but yeah, kind of that lonely, I don't know, it's got a really unique look, art style wise.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
looks
like
beautiful.
just the super clean
Yep.
Pixar thing. It feels a little more experimental, like what we've seen with some of the Wish and
Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots. Exactly, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it.
Sweet.
The last trailer I have is Tales of the Empire. This is, I guess, a sequel, spin-off of Tales of the Jedi, which followed Ahsoka and Count Dooku and kind of their stories when they were Jedi, except this is Morgan Elsbeth, how she kind of gets involved with Thrawn, and what happens to the Night Sisters, and then also what happens to Barriss Offee after she sets up Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it looks so cool. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Not to go back several weeks and dunk on the Acolyte trailer again, but like this is the feeling I wanted when I watched the Acolyte trailer. And like one of the things I brought up with that trailer was the music.
Mhm.
I was just like, oh, it's just trailer music. Where this had like Star Wars themes in it. It's just
Yeah.
like, yes, yes, give me the show now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Acolyte trailer.
I like that trailer.
I'm excited. Oh yeah, you were gone.
I liked it too.
Yeah, I
I
like it.
definitely have reservations still, but I'm much more positive than Luke on
Yeah,
it.
I'm excited for it.
100 whole years. Sorry. I'll talk about that later.
Did either of you? Sorry.
Yes?
Finish your thoughts on Star Wars.
About the going back later, or just
No,
Tales of the Empire?
Just Tales of the Empire.
Looks super good. Everybody has been just wondering what happened to Barriss.
Yeah.
She fought Anakin and got away, and now she's gonna be trained by him, which is super cool. Except, like, does she know that? That's what I always wonder, like, in the back of my mind. Like, do they know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if there's going to be, like, connections to the Jedi Fallen Order games. Since we're dealing with the Night Sisters and their
Yeah.
downfall. But yeah, I'm really, really excited. Plus, oh man, just like seeing Thrawn in Clone Wars animation style, because we've never seen that. We've only ever seen him in the Rebels animation style
Right.
in live action.
Yeah.
Man, he looked good. And the animation that Disney has for these Star Wars shows is so good. The Bad Batch is it looks so good. And that show's been popping.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. But yeah, super, super excited.
Yep.
Comes out on May the 4th,
Classic.
of course.
Of course, something's always got to come out on May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
I'm looking forward to it.
All
I
faith.
really liked Tales of the Jedi, so
Yep.
I'll be very excited to watch this.
Plus, just like and I'm assuming this will be the same. It's like, hey, here's a 12-minute episode.
Yeah, it said it was
Yeah.
shorts. It said
Yeah.
original shorts. So
I loved that.
yeah, it's just super digestible.
hmm
Like,
I think I watched the entire Tales of the Jedi in like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Just breezed right through it. I
Yeah.
was like, that was awesome.
yep. I did the same.
Now I'm curious, like, what are we gonna get next? Like, Tales of, I guess, just the Republic, or Tales of the Rebellion, or
Rebellion
Probably.
is my guess.
Tales
Yeah.
of
I'd guess Rebellion.
Tales of the Mandalorians. Tales of Mandalore, I guess.
They could do. I mean, depending on how timing of everything goes, they are rolling out that new. I think the Rey movie is the next one in the pipeline.
Tales of the Resistance.
So it could be something, kind of sequel era based.
Yeah, could be.
Oh,
Is that episode 10? Is that is it
It hasn't been
technically?
confirmed.
Okay.
Neither confirmed nor denied.
I'm excited for that Rey movie, but I still, ever since we wrote our reviews for Rise of Skywalker, and I said it in that all those years ago, just give me an animated show to fix everything we got from this trilogy. Because Filoni already did it with everything else.
Yeah.
Just fixing everybody else's stuff. Man, I still want that.
Well, maybe one day. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to roll into our main topic here, our review of Monkey Man, the Dev Patel directed and starring starred in
Directorial debut.
film. This is technically a Hollywood film, right? Like, it's not an. There's no way this is an Indian film.
No,
It takes place in India, but it's
Correct.
not like a Bollywood or
No.
anyone.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels very.
doesn't feel like
it feels
one.
very Western.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a special movie just because it was like the first time in 6 months more that we had all
Probably.
gotten together to see a movie together.
Yeah.
Didn't think it would ever happen again.
I was gonna
We
say we've
didn't
seen
even make-
movies with each other, but not as all three of us.
Not as all
yeah.
three of us, yeah. Because I thought Oppenheimer was gonna be the one last year, or like the Barbenheimer double feature, but
That was just us.
It was just us.
Yeah.
Tyler couldn't make it, so yeah. Good.
We
to be,
made it.
Good to be
It
back.
happened.
Good to be back.
So back, as Luke said.
We're so back.
So what did you, Tyler? Let's start with you.
Okay.
What did you think of Monkey Man?
I said Dev Patel is good, and it's a fine enough directorial debut, but it really feels like it could be much better. I feel like there's some meat on the bone still.
There's something there to chew
there-
on.
there
It's
is.
just not a lot.
There is. There are moments where you're like, I like this, let's do more of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't do more of that. Or they, the opposite, where it's like, they're giving me way too much of this. Like, let's pare this back a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, no, I know that's, yeah. Yep. Luke picked it up. It's, somebody asked me, is it good? I said, it's fine. I think it's fine.
Cool.
We'll talk about that in a little bit,
Luke?
too.
I just think of the gif of the little kid.
The kid is like,
Whoa.
yeah, no.
That's all I can picture now.
Luke was laughing at me during this because at one point did I just look down or something?
We
shake my head?
both did the same thing where we just both looked away.
Yeah.
And I looked to you and I just saw you just go.
Yeah.
Just look down. It's just like.
Yeah. I was having a really hard time.
My thoughts were I didn't like it. I think it's a mess. And I know it's a directorial debut, and don't stop directing because I
Right.
think there could be something there. But I think as an action movie, it's very hard to watch. Narratively is all over the place and confusing. It's just got too much going on in it. I think it could have been so much simpler. And then just visuals, man. It's not CG. It's like how you use a camera.
Yeah.
Just such a huge con for this. Did not like really any of the way it was filmed at all.
Well, we'll talk about more about that here in a second for sure. I'm probably a little more with Tyler. I definitely enjoy aspects of
Yeah.
this film. Like I walked out and I wasn't frustrated. I didn't think it was a waste of money.
No.
I was certainly disappointed. I think I was more disappointed in it than I expected to be. To echo some of what Luke just said, I think some of the camera work and cinematography is a mess. I think narratively it could have been tighter and stronger.
There is a specific narrative piece in this movie that just, to me, is just so pointless.
There's a couple that like they feel like they're gonna weave in
And it just
out,
doesn't.
and then they just don't.
It just doesn't. It's just there.
Yeah. I think it is actually hurt by the fact that there's really not a secondary character for us to care about. Like, Patel is the only character in here other than the villains that really get any emotional connection.
Yeah.
What's his the little
Lucky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky is probably the closest you get.
Yeah.
That or the
But even
monk,
Yeah, in the monk dude.
the monastery, that group.
Yeah.
But they don't show up till the third act
Yeah.
practically.
It's the kickoff of that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Lucky, they try to give you something to. I don't know. It's like a veiled attempt to make you feel bad for him, but you don't.
but you don't, because
Yeah.
he's ultimately everyone in that organization is like horrible, right?
Yeah, they're bad people.
And even Patel, like we've talked about this with other films, where it's like you got to give us something to like about. There's nothing. Patel doesn't, his character, because his name is Kid.
Child.
Kid.
Yeah.
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 He
Bobby?
doesn't have Bobby.
Yeah.
Is kind of the name he chooses for himself, but like his only motivation is revenge in
Yeah.
this. For something that is stretched out for the first 2/3 of the movie. So like we as an audience don't know why he wants revenge. You can put the pieces together pretty
I was
quickly.
gonna say, you can put it together in the first, 10 minutes.
Yeah, but they don't show you it, and so then you're not emotionally connected to it, because I can figure it out, but information isn't emotion.
Right.
So it's and that's why I'm like, narratively, structurally, the story, I just think it takes too long to really get going, and then by the time it is, you're so sick of all of the shaky cam stuff that
Yeah.
it's hard to follow.
Well, and it's too long, too. Like, the movie is just too long. It's 2 hours long, and there's not enough there. I think that's part of when you say it needs to be tighter, or when you say it's kind of a mess, it's like they add elements to make this movie longer than it needs to be.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you could just go without a whole portion of this movie.
Yeah.
You just don't need it.
Yeah. Agreed. But I mean, I still think we have some pros.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
let's talk about some pros real quick.
I think the first one's Dev Patel.
Mm-hmm.
Despite not having much of a character to play, I do think what he is doing is good. I do like his performance. I should mention, I do really like Dev Patel just in general.
Sure.
But I think he does good with what he has.
This is definitely not his strongest
No.
performance, but he's making a lot out of a little.
Yeah.
And
Which is kind of the
that
problem
come-
of this movie.
it really is, and it's weird with him being the director. Like, at some point, okay, yeah, well, the buck stops somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And as movies are complicated. You have producers, you have people you have to appease, but like, as a director, you do get to make creative decisions, and theoretically, I think he could have given himself more.
Yeah.
At the same time, this is a directorial debut. He's balancing that with this acting and managing all of those expectations. It just seemed like maybe too big of a bite of the apple.
Well, and I think the intent, part of the story behind this movie is it wasn't going to be a theater release.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
and I think that's something to keep in mind. Like, I don't think he was trying to make something this big. And it became bigger when it started to get distributed.
So maybe our expectations were.
Yeah, I mean, well,
We
when
can
Jordan
blame Jordan Peele.
when Jordan Peele comes out and he's like, "This movie's epic. I'm gonna pay for it to go to theaters." It's like, okay, well, it must be pretty good, right?
Right,
Like
right.
Jordan Peele's done. I mean, at this point, he's 100%, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think there's directorial debuts while you're starring that work, Michael B. Jordan, and then there's this, right? And there's others who've done it,
Yeah.
right? But like those are the two most recent that I can think of.
I think I can understand from a like Peele's decision. He's going after. There's like probably layers, right?
Mhm.
But from like I don't know, like you see someone who he himself was an actor turned director.
Yep.
He sees someone else who is, racially a minority in the directorial field,
Yep.
underrepresented, needs more representation.
Yep.
Made something that, by all accounts, is like impressive to a degree, right? Like making any film is impressive.
Yeah.
And so, like the fact that we
Yes.
may be ragging on parts of it, don't take away from that accomplishment.
No,
And so
absolutely.
I think for him to reach out and be like, hey, I want to get this in front of more people. He's impressed by it from a certain perspective, and we don't know exactly what those are, what those
Yeah.
reasons are. But I get it, and
Well, and-
but you're right. The clout that kind of comes with
Yeah.
Peele's name now does maybe, if you're not feeling everything in this movie, you may be like, oh, what a swing and a miss
Yeah, what a
for
swing and a miss.
Jordan Peele.
But let's also let's be real. There's gonna be people who love this movie.
There are, yeah, I see them on social media.
They're gonna.
I mean, critics love it.
Yeah, they're gonna love this movie.
So.
It's just, I think we talked about it when the trailer came out, but like this plot, this story it's running its course, right? Like everybody's trying to make the next John Wick movie.
Yeah.
Like Luke's talked about it incessantly, right? And like this is just another one of those. It's just, I don't know. Pros.
Yeah, pros.
I just put the cast as decent.
Cast
Like, I
is
don't think
decent.
anybody in the cast is bad.
Yeah.
I
Right,
think
like there's
that's- I
not
think that's fair.
there's
yeah.
not like one performance where I'm like, ugh. Like even Lucky, like the little bit he has, I thought he was pretty
Yeah.
funny. Like he made me laugh.
Lucky.
That's the short dude that he rolls
Oh,
around with.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, he
I
was-
I could never remember his name.
Yeah, he was cool.
It was really nice to know Charlotte Copley
Mhm.
is still in movies.
Yes.
I have not seen him in forever.
Yeah, he brought great energy to
Yeah.
the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, his performance
Not
was good.
likable, but I liked the role.
Yeah, he did exactly what he was going for.
He
right?
did a great job.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even
Um,
if the party's in isn't, all that necessary.
Right? Right. I have lighting down here. We talked about this on the walk out, and we'll talk maybe a little bit more about it in cons. Cinematography, I think there are shots in this movie that are pretty, but like Luke said, the method in which you are operating the camera, I
Too
think
much handheld.
detracts from the shots. That said, I think there was a lot of really imaginative and good lighting. I wanted to just mention that was one of those things that it stood out to me. Even in the trailer, I think the trailer captures it pretty well too. But the use of lighting was really excellent.
Yeah, there's some really cool shots. I'd agree.
And yeah, and then sometimes there'll be a little bit too much shake cam, but like it'll settle. It's like, oh, okay, that's a cool shot.
It's so funny in a movie that's so action driven. To me, the best moments are when the movie slows down.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love hyper violent movies. But man, this one it's got some stuff. My only other pro, and I don't know if Luke maybe has it, but I did like some of the music.
Yeah, I had it on my
I
list.
thought the music was good.
Music was great.
My favorite scene involved music.
Dude, that
So-
scene is awesome. It might also be the only scene they had a tripod for.
Or maybe they just sat it on a ledge. I don't know.
Potentially.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
I also want to talk about in that scene, without spoiling things, Dev Patel's not the biggest dude in the world.
Yeah.
But honestly, I didn't think it looked bad. Him, like the whole punching bag, all that stuff. Like I thought he looked good in the role. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought he bulked up
I
appropriately.
appreciated that he didn't. Yeah, he
You
didn't
bought his
look like he
physicality.
was
Yeah,
over
it
on
felt
roids or anything.
real. Yeah, it felt real.
Looked like the kind of, I don't know.
It looked like the character he was.
Hopefully this is not some insensitive. Like he looked kind of like a gutter rat, right? Like
Yeah, well, and that's what he's playing.
I don't know. Is that like I don't want it to be like if that's.
But that's the character he's playing.
Exactly,
though. Like he says it a
exactly.
lot in the movie. Like when they drive through where they live, like
Yeah.
he's like, "Man, we're just out here. Like we're just trash to them."
Yeah.
Like so that's that's where he's from, and he's believable. He's not. Yeah, he doesn't look roided out of his mind. I think his like Luke said, you bought his physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And like him throwing punches didn't look goofy.
No.
Like it could have.
Yeah.
You know, like we see some movies with action and like the actors don't look like they know what they're doing, and not with him. I felt like he looked pretty good.
Well, there's a fight with him in the ring later in the movie, and he's going up against like a 7.5 foot tall
Yeah.
dude, and like that fight felt believable still.
Yeah.
So like there's maybe choreography could be in certain scenes.
What you can see of it.
What you can see of it.
Well, I mean,
could
kind
be
of
a
off that too. 'Cause
pro.
I think the unnecessary part of the movie, are the best looking fight scenes.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yep.
Which is all the ones in the boxing ring.
Yep.
yeah.
It's when you get out of the ring where I don't know what they're trying to do, really. Just, I don't know if they were going for Bourne style, if that was like a conscious decision, or... But, like, in the ring, it's like, hey, we're in a confined space, so we're just gonna film the fight.
Yeah.
And we'll have to move the camera, but the rest...
We kind of float around the edge. We get in and do a little bit of this and this. But
The snap edits
yeah.
were egregious in the third act.
For real. So we can hop over to cons. We're talking mostly here about cinematography and camera movement. In the fights it's just so shaky.
Yep.
It's incredibly hard to watch, and I think it makes the fight cinematography of Godzilla at times Kong actually look really, really good. We actually praised that last week, and like it just kind of put a rubber stamp on that. Oh, like okay, wow, that was actually
Out of all the movies where they pull back the camera and let you watch and just enjoy the fight scene,
yeah,
a lizard and a gorilla.
that are 400 feet tall.
Yeah.
That was my thing, and I wanted Luke to say it, but like Luke, a lot of times after we watch any action movie, be like, man, I wish they would just pull the camera back, and like most of the time I agree, but it's not like so bad that it bothers me. And this movie, it bothers me. It like I feel like at times I was looking at shoulders.
I knew we were in for a problem during the prologue.
Yeah.
There was not a wide shot in this movie until when he, slight spoilers, falls off of that roof into the river.
Yep.
That was the first wide shot we had. Proper
Wide,
shot.
yeah.
And it just felt that made the movie feel claustrophobic in a way that was detrimental, in my opinion.
There's claustrophobic in a way that works, Captain Phillips, and
Yeah.
there's claustrophobic in this, and it's just like, ugh.
It just felt like we don't. And again, this might go back to that point you're making, Tyler, about the scale of the movie, the size of the movie, what it is meant to be.
Yeah.
It really just felt like a movie that didn't have a budget to shoot wide for some reason.
Like they didn't have the
it
lens.
felt like an indie movie.
Yeah.
And it was. And I just. That's not an actual. Like, that can't be an actual problem with a film of this size. Even before Jordan Peele jumped on, right?
Yeah,
like,
no.
because he jumped on at the end after it had been shot.
Right.
So it really bothered me during that whole opening when it was handheld next to the kid and the mom, and it was really discomforting.
Yep.
Actually.
And
to
you
me.
don't even, like, if that would have been a choice for a scene in the movie, like,
Yeah,
great.
there could be a section of the movie where that fits.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, even like most of the second act when he's in the club, like you could understand like the world around him is evil and it's closing in on him, and like
Yeah.
you could make that choice there, and it could fit and feel really unique.
I think that's the problem. Like, it's an effort to make things feel frantic, but the whole movie feels that way. And so, yeah, like discomfort. It's what makes these kinds of movies great is they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
This is not fun to watch.
Right.
And I think that's what hurts it the most.
I agree. And by the time we got to the third act, I was kind of checked out. I was ready to go. Never happens, and I was like legit feeling motion sickness, like not full on like the GIF we were making fun of, but it's just like I don't like looking at this.
Yeah.
And if it's gonna keep being like this, maybe I'll just close my eyes and take a nap or something. Because I was very tired.
No.
But ironically, the rest of the movie wasn't like that. It was the opposite, which is a not as good version of every action movie you see now.
Mm.
Yeah.
With like the snap edits to do a oneer.
Yeah, the post wide shot, the movie kind of settles down a little bit.
Yeah.
And from there, like it's more enjoyable to watch. And I think that's why it lands where it does for me in the rating. But like the up until that wide shot, we're gonna use that as the marker.
That's the marker.
Oh, man, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And at that point, when he falls into the water, I checked my watch and I was like, okay, how much longer is this movie?
I don't know if Luke was noticing, but I kept getting like buzzes on my watch, and I was just out enough of the movie that it was like, oh, what was that? Right?
Yeah.
And normally I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But you're right.
I just was looking at the time. I'm like, man, how much longer is this movie? Because, that's ultimately what I keep coming back to is like, it's just not fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things in it that I like. There are some things I really don't like. But ultimately, as an overall thing, it's just not fun for me to watch this movie. And it's not one that I would watch again.
Know what I would love? The scene where he's at the village kind of like rehabilitating himself.
Mm-hmm.
Give me like an hour of that. And then lead into
the final
Bang
thing.
Bang Punchy Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and even the scene where he like goes and gets money for all those people.
Yeah.
Like super cool.
Yeah.
But it's like 15, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And it's just like, I would have rather had that. Like this small building yourself back up, can I do it movie? Because I do want to take out vengeance on this dude who did the thing.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But no, instead it's frantic claustrophobia, handheld shaky cam for about an hour. Then awesome village scene, and then
less shaky, but not as good action.
glidey snap camera edit.
Yep.
On from, I don't know, Aldi or something.
With a shoehorned political plot point thing that I just didn't feel was needed in the movie.
I feel like there was a lot of shoehorned plot point.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of the girl?
It's just there.
So that's when I talked about my negative, or one of my
Just in the
negatives
movie.
earlier, right? Like it's those plot threads that ultimately don't go anywhere.
And to clarify, I don't mean it's like political as in like our political. I mean, it's just like there's this political plot thread through this movie just isn't really ever pulled on until the very end. And they're like,
there's an election happening.
Yeah.
And some of the bad guys are all like tied up
to
in
this party.
this party, right? And so
the sovereign party.
Sovereign Party. Good job. Yeah, you remember that. I did not. Yeah. So when you're talking about
yeah, I don't mean like it's woke or anything like that. That's not what I mean. Like it's
whoa.
Yeah, right. Like there is like
How
this
dare
political
you.
thread throughout the movie that they just really don't do anything with, and I think that's one of those moments where it's like, okay, if you're gonna do this, let's do this.
Yeah.
But they never really lean into it, several things that they put in the movie.
Same with the girl.
The girl,
right? Like,
yeah.
the girl is like, okay,
Why is she here?
gonna be like a romantic interest?
Yep.
Like that could be an interesting back and forth. Nope, we're not gonna gonna really.
We're not gonna really unpack that.
We're gonna unpack that. We've got the. I thought we were really gonna lean into John Wick. We got a dog. There's a dog here.
Yeah.
What are we doing with the dog? I don't know. Okay, the dog is useful for one
Oh,
thing.
dog was a pro though. Great
Dog
plan.
was a pro.
Yeah. Good. Awesome
Solid plan.
Yeah.
And then it went.
Yeah.
And it's like we just forgot about the dog.
and I did really like. So again, like going back to what Luke was saying, like let's have him rehabbing, like rehabilitating. I would have also liked if there was some combination of how he does infiltrate the facility or the hotel or whatever. Because I did like the bits where he's like working his way into the room. Like,
Yeah.
I need to get into this room. How do I do this?
Right.
And it's like, hey, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z to get to where I need to be, so I can effectively recon this situation. And honestly, I thought those moments were pretty cool. It's where you get lucky. It's where you get the girl whose story really goes nowhere.
Yeah.
What's the lady's name? Is it the
Queen.
Queen.
Queen of
Queenie?
King.
I think it's just Queenie.
Is it Queenie?
I think it's Queenie.
Yeah, like I thought, the stuff with her was interesting for the 10 minutes we get it. I was like, okay. And then you just kind of move on from those things that I think would make it a better movie. Because it
And
just
you
so
don't have
badly
to-
wants to be a John Wick movie.
You don't have to tie up every loose end.
No.
But you've
But you also can't put so many loose ends in a movie that you end
right.
up, depriving the people watching it.
Right.
And I think that's, again, there's just too many things in this movie.
Yeah.
It all goes back to just tighten it down.
Yep.
But
I agree.
he'll learn from this, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he'll learn a lot.
I'm sure it was a I don't know. I was gonna say a fantastic learning opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a cliche thing to say, but
But it is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. And he's got Peele's eye now.
Yeah.
So
I would love to see him work with Peele
it-
in the future.
Jordan Peele is a producer on like a proper producer from the beginning of a project on something he's involved with. I think that could be an incredible partnership.
Yeah,
Heck-
and maybe
Heck, I wouldn't even mind if he just joined Peele's next movie.
dude, that'd be
Oh, yeah.
sick.
Heck
That would be
yes.
amazing.
I would love
Heck
that
yeah.
so much. Yeah, no. Do we want to give ratings?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll go. I'll give it to Matthew McConaughey. It's all right.
This
Luke?
is straight to streaming for me.
I'm gonna give it a straight to streaming as well. Definitely closer to that Matthew McConaughey than the bottom, but it's one I would probably say wait till I don't think you need to see this in theaters. In fact,
Yeah.
you'll probably be motion sickness. you
Yeah.
need some motion sickness pills if you're gonna go see it.
Yeah,
Another reason I
theaters.
think it would be great to watch at home is you can turn on subtitles.
subtitles would be huge.
I felt like I couldn't understand half the things people were saying,
Yeah.
and it's a mix of audio mishaps, which happen. Nolan does it all the time. And
No,
then
it's a
also
feature, not a
just
bug.
like accents I felt were
Yeah, some
pretty
very
difficult
thick,
to understand.
Some very thick accents in this movie.
Um,
Which I think sound great. Like I wouldn't want them to be more Western sounding.
I would just
but
like
they just,
speak.
They need to be
Indian.
clearer, or just speak Indian and have subtitles.
Like I'm watching Shogun every week, and 90% of it is in Japanese.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yep.
I love listening to Anato I speak Japanese, man. It's
So good, so good.
very nice.
All right, for Baroque in the chat, we need to do a little monkey dance to let them know that we're done.
You have the
talking about
easiest
Monkey
path
Man.
to get up.
All right,
Welcome back, Baroque. If you saw that.
I hope you saw that because we're not doing it. Well, Luke's gonna keep doing it apparently. So that's our review of Monkey Man. Next, we will hop over into the news. Who has some news stories?
There's
for
a
us
monkey
this
movie
week?
next week, right?
Did we get 3 weeks of monkey movies?
Isn't it Kingdom of the Apes?
Is that next week? I thought that was May. You might be right. May 10.
Oh,
Is Fall Guy next week?
Civil War's
Civil
next
War's
week.
next week. Fall Guys week last week of
Maybe
April.
there'll be a monkey in Civil War somewhere.
Maybe.
Could be.
Anyways, it's the spring of monkeys.
Yeah.
Maybe not the month of monkeys, but the spring of monkeys because we do get a
Monkey season.
kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming soon. That movie looks good.
Funny though, because technically none of them have been monkeys. They've all been apes. Well, I mean, I guess. He wore a monkey mask, but his nickname is Kong.
But he's a human.
But he's a human.
He's an amalgamation, is what he is.
Monkeys have tails. Dev Patel has no tail. Ape.
But that's true. But like the Monkey King, who he is supposedly like,
That's true. It is
definitely
a monkey.
a monkey. So
Monkey.
I think monkey. I say monkey.
Monkey.
Anyways, news
I was
stories.
so confused by the Monkey King thing throughout that movie.
Don't give any spoilers. Broke's back.
Yeah, sorry. We'll talk about it after this.
Okay. Oh, all right. News. What do we got? Did anything happen?
I think I have like 2 things.
Yeah, some stuff happened. Some good stuff happened.
Oh.
And one thing that is whatever. Well, 2 things.
Hit us.
1.5. 2 things. 2.5 things.
Good lord.
Here's the thing that's cool, but also whatever. We're getting another Matrix movie.
That's right.
I still haven't seen the most
From
recent
Drew
one.
Goddard.
Mm-hmm.
Take that for what you will. This will be the first one that's not a Wachowski.
I think I'm. Look,
What has Drew
say
Goddard
say
done?
what you will about
Daredevil.
creators and their properties, right? But I think sometimes it is healthy for a franchise or a story to kind of step away and let someone else try to tell that story, right? I mean, the example for me is George Lucas with Star Wars. I think Star Wars is most interesting when he has interesting collaborators telling stories in the Star Wars universe. Filoni is a great example of that. Kasdan as a writer
I mean,
and director.
the best Star Wars movie, George Lucas didn't
He didn't direct. So
Reserving.
So like I think I'm maybe more interested knowing that the Wachowskis are still involved,
Yeah.
but not.
If the Wachowskis weren't involved at all, it
all.
would be kind of like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, for sure.
To go
This is like the best of both worlds. You get a little bit of fresh eyes, trying something new, but
Please call it The Matrix rebooted.
with
Please.
oh wow,
It's right there in your lap.
it really is. It really is.
Matrix Resurrections was either okay or bad, I think, depending on who you were. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun.
I thought it was okay too. I don't remember.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know. I just haven't sat down and did it.
It was a COVID movie.
Yeah.
It came straight out on HBO. Great times, man.
What a time to be alive.
Remember when we couldn't go outside? Dude, that was so weird. That was 4 years ago.
That was crazy.
I still went outside. I was not required to work from home. And now everybody works from home at my job. Irony.
Next news thing I have, Fallout comes out this week. And
The Amazon Prime show, yes.
Yeah, and early impressions are pretty popular. People like it.
Positive vibes.
Now, this was at Forbes. They did say that it was a closed screening event to people who are gamers.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, they made it for the fans. Let's go!
as somebody who
I know,
does
sometimes
like
gamers are the harshest critics of them all.
It's true. It's true, but they like it, and so that's exciting. And it's I love the aesthetic of Fallout more than I like to play Fallout. So that excites me.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
I'm
to
always
this.
like, oh yeah, Fallout. This is so cool.
And then
yeah.
I'm 10 hours in, and I'm like,
okay, yeah.
yeah, this is just too much walking through the wasteland. for
Okay.
me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm out of VATS. Okay. Guess I'll die.
Yeah, maybe the gunplay will feel better in the next one.
Fingers crossed.
No.
I don't think Starfield's gunplay is horrible. So if it's
No.
at least on par with that, it'll be
If
fine.
it's if they adopt some of those,
Yeah.
how that feels.
They might, but they're still gonna just lean into VATS. So it doesn't matter. If you don't improve your vets, you're going to die to a rad roach.
You're gonna die
And you're
anyways.
just screwed.
Well, when we were at Monkey Man, there were quite a few other people at the theater watching Godzilla X Kong.
That's such a bad title.
It is such a horrible title.
Wow, do you guys hate math?
Oh,
What does
A
it
New
equal?
Empire. I'm sorry, I didn't even finish the title. I only gave you half of the title. Anyways,
It's the best title of the year, baby.
it's been doing well. It has over 361 million. It's made 361 million worldwide thus far, in its first 10 days. Legendary says that's a good sign for getting more. So
Nice.
You know, and it's WB, and they just came off Dune, which is also doing really well.
Yeah.
So what do? They keep destroying movies, because movies just don't always make money. So we're just gonna burn it.
What are they burning?
You get
next?
no flowers. Congratulations to the filmmakers for making entertaining movies. WB can kiss my butt.
I thought you were gonna say suck it.
They can suck my butt.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, what's next?
We got some casting in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Or did we? Based on what the internet says, it could be either or. We got casting for the Silver Surfer for Fantastic Four, and it's going to be Julia Garner.
Okay. Cool.
I'm just waiting for the
Maybe.
movie at this point. Or I guess a trailer. I was really excited when they finally announced a Fantastic Four movie. And then I watched 5 Marvel movies. They've all been kind of dog. And they've been okay. They've been okay, probably at best. And I just don't know what to think. The rumor is this is in a different dimension or universe, which is why they casted Julia Garner. It's a different version of the Silver Surfer. Which is also just we're doing dimension stuff with Marvel, and it's annoying. But she's a great actress, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
She's really good in Ozark. I think that's the only thing I've ever seen her in. I can't remember.
It's a Marvel movie. Yay.
What is the Fantastic Four? I need somebody to
I
boost
know.
my excitement
I
with
know,
me.
Luke. I'm so sorry. I can't be more excited for
It's
you.
It's the first family.
I wish it could. I could too. I think the other cool little side story of that was the whole Lakeith Stanfield thing.
Oh yeah. Is cool the right word for it? But
I thought it was cool.
interesting.
Yeah,
I thought it was very cool.
Okay.
Him just being oh man, I thought I was gonna get it. Being that.
Dude, what if he was just
I just feel
BSing?
that would be hilarious.
That's even cooler.
Yeah.
I almost feel bad that that's how we actually found out.
Oh yeah.
That's why I wasn't I don't know if it's cool. I guess, but you're right. It is neat. It's cool
Well,
to
so
see someone be passionate about a thing that they wanted.
There's also rumors. There was a rumor going around that there was 2 Silver Surfers in this movie.
Oh, maybe this is all a bait and switch.
One from one dimension and one from the other.
Yeah.
And they're going to high five and merge into Super Silver Surfer.
So maybe they're both in it. Who knows?
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably.
But love Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah.
So.
That would be a yeah.
No, I don't
actually
know.
think the idea of 2 Silver Surfers and having both those actors portray them would be really really
it'd
fun.
be kind of fun. But I'm also, I don't know. I wish I was excited for this, but
Yeah, same.
I'm just not.
Hey, you know a movie you can start getting excited about? Dune Part 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be with me. I don't care about this movie until Denis announces directing it. I don't. I have 2 great movies by him, but if it comes out that Jack McJack is directing and Denis is just producing, it's
Denny won't even produce if he's not directing, I don't think.
Here's my fear with this movie.
but money.
I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on.
Yeah.
He had said he wouldn't make part 3 unless he knew he could make it better than part 2.
Right.
Apparently, he did have a script, but he made that comment post news that there is a script, right?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think they just offered him so much money he couldn't say no.
Is he confirmed as directing?
No.
No.
I don't care.
They just said it's in
development.
It's in development.
But also,
They announced Dune 2 was in development super early too.
They told him he was getting Dune 2 before
he
Dune
took
1.
Dune 1, yeah.
Like, he knew he was getting 2 movies.
Yeah.
Sure. I just
And
don't
a show.
I think that this is a Warner Brothers play nice gesture of faith to audiences and Denny that this is going to happen.
Here's what
Not this is getting fast tracked, just it is happening.
He is making another movie, I guess. Something about nukes.
A nuclear war.
So
Yes.
so here's my concern also. I like Dune. I like the story of Dune.
But you've read Dune Messiah?
I've read Dune Messiah. And I don't think it's horrible, but it's certainly not on the level of Dune. But a wise man once told me, if you read Dune, stop there. And, you know, the unadaptable has been adapted, and it's really freaking good. Honestly, I think we should just stop where we are.
Man, I'm sorry. I brought the story up just to try and get you guys excited about something, and
Look,
I've clearly not done that.
I would love Dune 3.
I'm here for it, and I'll watch it, and I'll happily go watch it. But the more Dune you get story-wise, the worse it gets. And so, like, he has to, and I trust that Denny will adapt it in a way that makes it enjoyable, right? Like,
we just haven't gotten that confirmation yet.
Correct.
And until that
Correct.
happens, you're nervous. I get it.
I'm a little
I get
nervous about it. I just don't think Messiah's very good. I've still not read Children, and I know I need to, because apparently if you stop at 3, you're better off than stopping at 2. So I need to do it,
sure.
but, like, man, it's just, I don't know.
I think if
it's Denny, I'm all in.
No, I really think that Dune Messiah adaptation won't be a lot like how it is.
I don't think it'll be anything like the book.
I imagine it'll just be,
Get
we
ready.
won't do Dune 2
Get ready for
spoilers
everybody's
yet,
favorite.
it's nothing like the book. Go cry in a river. We don't care.
I think it will. Everybody will be excited to see their favorite Samoan guy back.
The Rock?
Jason Momoa.
No. He's not my favorite Samoan. So.
Okay.
No.
I don't. Luke, did we
Duncan.
talk about the Supergirl director news last week? That hadn't happened last week. There were.
No, that happened this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we haven't talked about that yet, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
I think that happened on like Wednesday.
Yeah. So Craig Gillespie.
Is he confirmed?
I.
Or is it still rumored? In talks, as they say.
Let's see what the news says.
I don't think James Gunn has tweeted about it.
Deadline.
So probably. not
Deadline
confirmed.
says in talks to direct.
I'm on board.
I've not seen Cruella, but I do like I, Tonya.
Tanya's really
Tonya
freaking
is-
good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Nobody will ever convince me to watch Cruella, though. Oh, he also made... Hold on, I'll look it up.
Another film.
It was much older.
Oh yeah.
He has some older stuff that is like, oh, really?
Yeah, he's not a young guy. That's for sure. He's
Craig. How do you spell
This
his name?
thing, this VG247's article title.
P-I-E.
Got it.
DC Studios subverts expectations
Oh!
by not landing a female director for Supergirl, but the pick is cool regardless.
No, it was his most recent one. It was Dumb Money.
Oh.
I just remembered
the
it.
GameStop movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he made Dumb Money. He made The Finest Hours. Do you remember that Chris Evans boat movie?
Oh yeah.
Underrated, in my opinion. It was good. He made Mike, the Mike Tyson Hulu thing.
Oh, I didn't watch.
Oh,
that.
with my Jon Stewart picks in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Pam and Tommy.
I'm connecting the dots.
It all makes
I heard
sense
Pam
now.
and Tommy's really good too. I never watched it, but
Well, oh yeah, cool. So when that's confirmed,
$1
we'll
Million
obviously
Arm? Never saw
let
it.
you know. But
on his IMDb it says he's directing Supergirl.
I think that's pretty close to
That's
a
pretty.
confirmation.
That's pretty firm.
Can't anybody update that stuff though?
No,
Isn't that like Wikipedia?
no, is it not like Wikipedia?
IMDb is the Wikipedia of movie credentials.
Yeah.
It's like anybody can edit it, but you want to update it yourself.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs. Cool. Well, you guys have any other stories?
Yes. Just do this one really quick. Avatar live action has new showrunners. I didn't write down their names. All I hope is that they do better than whoever was
This
doing it.
was, and I read this because I thought the headlines were all very clickbaity. But essentially, when the animated series showrunners stepped out, the season 1 showrunner stepped in just to get the season done. Like, their plan was to just get season 1 across the finish line, and they would bring in new showrunners for season 2. So this was always expected. This was not like a, hey, good job, but like critically it was
We're going in a different
and we're
direction.
going in a different direction. This was always the plan. So I just want to be clear that we're not presenting it in that kind of bashing the
Yeah.
We have our own opinions. All of us have our own opinions on.
No, I didn't watch it.
Tyler doesn't. Luke and I have our own opinions
Terrible
on
show.
the quality of.
Your guys' review was enough for me to be like, eh,
He watched one episode, and he was like, nah,
yeah, I didn't watch it.
I suffered.
No, I finished.
you!
Wait, Luke, did I ever tell you that? I finished it.
Oh, you did?
I did.
You poor child.
Nah, it wasn't that bad.
Dude, it was so bad.
No.
Oh, it was so bad.
I think they made some interesting decisions. But
By trying to include literally every single thing in a different place for some reason. Yeah, I agree.
In any case.
In any case, let's talk about something far more interesting.
Sure.
James Mangold is making a Star Wars movie. Did we talk about this already? No, that was before the show. Show before we do the show.
But we knew about that, right?
We're
Yes,
talking about the writer.
I'm the writer.
James Mangold making a movie is not the news. That is a setup for your yes.
I had a tangent in my head. It just came out.
It took too long and we butted in.
Ooh, where does Troy Polamalu rank on your list of favorite Samoans? He is in Moana.
Troy Polamalu?
Yeah, he voices a character in that.
Seriously?
he
I
the
didn't know
dad?
that.
No,
Well, obviously, The Rock is number one because he can never lose a fight. Number two would be the dad from Moana, not the actor, just the dad.
just the character.
The character. Not even the grandma?
Number three is Moana. It's chicken. And then number four would be the grandma. Then probably Troy Polamalu.
Okay, I like it.
Then Jason Momoa.
Baroque asked, so
Yeah, there's my list.
got it.
Yeah, Moana's chicken is high up there. That dude tanked a lot of damage. I'm not
Hey,
gonna
hey.
lie. Yeah, hey.
So, all right,
Built different.
I'm going on a tangent because he truly is built different. So, there's a Disney trading card game. If you're not aware of this, it's called Lorcana.
Dude, is he
Hey in it.
Is he like a legendary or
No,
something?
no. So
my gosh.
his card title is Persistent Pest, and anytime he gets like defeated in a fight, he just goes back into your hand, and you can just play him again. Like he just never dies.
Unkillable.
Like, he's a pure tank.
Okay, he's number two. Moana's dad is now number three.
Moving up.
And
the
I
list.
actually went and played at a league night a couple weeks ago, and I played that card, and the dude I was playing was like, "Gosh dang it, dude, I freaking hate hey." It's so great.
Anyway,
Oh.
James Mangold is making a Star Wars movie.
Yes.
Indeed.
And then this week, it was announced that he's going to have a co-writer for it, and it's Beau Willimon. And if you don't know who that is, he did probably the best 3 episodes in Andor, which is the prison section of the show with Andy Serkis. Have you watched Andor?
Oh my gosh, Tyler.
It really is incredible. So we're really in for some good stuff, I think, for this movie.
Hyped.
It was
Brett's
also
getting hyped over
announced it's going to follow the origins of the Jedi, which we kind of already knew that. But it's set 25,000 years in the past. Suck it, Acolyte. Suck it. This is what I'm talking about. 100 years. Ooh, okay. Hi, Yoda. 25,000 years. Let's go. But I'll say, if it doesn't look visually or aesthetically different, I will be extremely disappointed. If we're like dealing with the same art, the same like a Jedi logo, like the lightsaber with the wings, it's like maybe they'll discover it.
Maybe they'll create it.
Be like, whoa, that'd make a good logo. But
maybe there will just be a lightsaber flying around with wings.
There's
and they're
probably
like,
already.
That's how they got lightsabers.
Wait, we gotta
They're in,
go.
like,
We
some
gotta go over
jungle.
to Star Wars wiki. There's probably that's probably been fleshed out where the Jedi logo came from.
oh, I'm sure. Wikipedia.
Oh, that's right. That's what it is. Star Wars wiki. I know things. I'm not actually looking that up. Please continue.
That was the only other story I had.
Yeah, but very, very excited for that. Can't wait. You should watch Andor.
No, I it's on my list to watch.
It's so good. It's so good.
It is.
Did you
It
have more
is.
news stories?
I
Brent?
don't.
Nope. All right. That's wrapping us up for news. What did you guys do this week? We don't have any.
No fan box.
No fan. Well, our Troy Polamalu, I think.
Palomalu.
Pa-
Did you ever watch Troy Polamalu play football?
What'd you guys? Yes.
Okay.
I need to update my list. Number 5. This is unfortunately going to kick Troy Polamalu out. But number 5 is Troy Polamalu Head and Shoulders ads.
So Tiny Troy.
No, all of them.
just all.
Well,
All of the ads are
there's
one.
Every version of
There's
the
two
ad.
versions of him. There's normal size Troy and Tiny Troy.
I'm combining them into one.
Okay.
Same person. Just at different times of their life. Number 6, Troy Polamalu. Number 7, Jason Momoa. Man, Jason just going down, down, down.
We did talk about how that guy that is our favorite scene in the movie. The guy who's playing
The drummer?
yeah.
Yes, that was the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. What were we talking about? What we did this week?
Yeah.
Well, I was out for a couple weeks, so I can very quickly knock out a couple things.
Yeah.
I had a small. Oh, you don't know what's going on, Baroque. You'll be fine. I had a small procedure last week, so I was kind of down for a couple days, and I decided to restart My Adventures with Superman because I had watched like the first 6
Yeah.
episodes, and then I hadn't watched it. You know, I hadn't watched it for a while, so I decided to start it over. I ended up watching the whole thing. That's a booyah easily.
Yep. It's a great
Um,
show.
I really think there's a lot of really good liberties taken with Superman and his kind of backstory in ways that feel very familiar but still different.
Mm-hmm.
And it just shows you that like you can take risks and it will still work.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Superman, if you're not a fan of Superman, if you're a fan of anime, like check this out. It's awesome. I could not recommend it more. And that has actually kind of fishtailed me on this other adventure that I'm on. So I don't know what it is. If you've been around the show long enough, you'll know I'm a pretty big DC fanboy just as a whole.
Nerd.
And I've really, like, after finishing that, I was like, man, I really just wanted more DC stories.
Yeah.
So I did the unthinkable, and I purchased Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League.
Crazy, man. He's
yeah,
crazy.
so I bought it, so you don't have to. It was 50% off with Game Pass. I wasn't doing anything. Like, I was just sitting there. I had played Final Fantasy and MLB The Show for like an entire day, so I was like, man, I just need something different. And so I'm almost done with it. I have one more boss fight left, but I have killed the Justice League. So that's cool. And, you know, much like Gotham Knights was panned and I bought it and played it anyways, I paid full price for Gotham Knights. I'm not even ashamed of that. And I really enjoyed Gotham Knights. This is not as... My review of this is not as glowing as it was for Gotham Knights. But I will say, like, it feels good to play. Like, it doesn't feel... I think if you watch this game on a stream, it looks like it feels like crap. And it really doesn't. Like it does feel good to play when traversal, gunplay, everything's kind of working together. It's fun. The aesthetic, the feel, the stuff. It kind of reminds me of Borderlands a little bit,
Oh.
but with
Yeah.
not cell shaded graphics. Like the graphics are good.
Yeah.
Production on cutscenes is great. Performances are great. The story's fine. I mean, it's what you would expect from a Suicide Squad is saving the world and killing the Justice League story. I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary for those characters. But very quickly, just want to say I would give it a straight to streaming. If it comes to Game Pass and you're a DC fan and you want to check it out, or if you're a looter shooter fan or a Borderlands fan, like I do think this will scratch an itch. Their seasonal model kind of sucks, so just be prepared for that. It's not great.
Yeah.
I'm not even into the seasonal content, but I can tell you just from what it kind of shapes up to be that it's not going to be very good. I think its biggest downfall, because I've kind of said the good things, biggest downfall is just variety. There's not much variety to the game. Every mission feels pretty close to the same. It's some variation of like 4 different mission types and then a boss fight. So I don't know. It's pretty samey, but the gunplay feels good. The characters are a lot of fun. Performances are really good. But I think the big thing I would say is I don't feel like I wasted my money. And that's a huge win. Because I was a little nervous like buying it. I actually hovered over the tile like 6 times before I finally pulled the trigger and bought it. But when I started playing it, and it's all I've played since I got it. So I think that's some sort of endorsement.
Yeah.
Like I don't hate it, right? Like, but again, I preface that with I am a DC fanboy and I will take whatever DC content I can get in most cases. So, also people who are upset about how you kill the Justice League, there's only, I'd say, one boss fight that's pretty inexcusable. But it does make sense. It's just kind of annoying because it's just not creative at all, and that's the Batman one. So yeah, that's one thing. Finished my Adventure Superman, obviously, and then I did finish American Gods by Neil Gaiman.
Hey,
Nice.
that's a callback.
It is a callback.
You
Yeah.
teased that earlier this episode.
I did.
Man, I wasn't sure that was gonna pay off.
Yeah.
So here we are.
But it's a funny way to finish this book. On my trip to Chicago for work, I was reading it on the plane. I was reading it on the way back. And when I got off the plane here in Wichita, I actually left it on the plane. But shout out to Spotify Premium. You get 14 hours of audiobooks a month, which is pretty much nothing. But when you only have like 80 pages left, you can just pop in the audiobook and knock it out. So I was able to finish it. I'd give it a fanboy worthy. It is not what you expect. It is a very different book. I'd be really interested in watching the show just to see how they did some of the visual stuff, because Neil has a pretty visual style, and he does some pretty weird stuff just by nature. He's a weird dude.
Yeah, he is.
But no, it was pretty cool. Kansas has a pretty cool part to play in the story, so that was neat.
Nice. Shout out Kansas.
Yeah, so that was neat. And then the last thing I did is I did watch the Spider Within. This is the Spider-Verse short that was made to raise money for, this is going to sound really bad, but it's a mental health awareness charity.
Sure.
I'm not sure the charity name, but I did watch this, and it's basically just, Miles dealing with the anxiety and the pressure of being Spider-Man. It is not a Spider-Man story, it's a Miles story. And I really liked it. I thought it was pretty neat. I love that, the Spider-Verse stuff. Like, I just think all of it's really good, and so more of it is never something that I will shy away from.
Sure.
Check it out. I think it's really good.
Sweet.
That's what I did. There's some other things I'm sure that I'm forgetting.
Did you go see the Bane?
No, we didn't have much time. We were like, when we landed, because we landed the day of the meetings, we were in meetings until like 8:30 at night. They took us to the Home Alone house, and then we went to the hotel and went to sleep.
Good.
And then woke up, went back into the facility for like a wrap up, and then we were like on a plane out of there. So we didn't really have any time to go anywhere.
No.
I was really sad because the Wizards were in town that night in Chicago, and I wanted to go, but it just didn't work out. But nope, Chicago was cool though. The people were great. Food was really good.
Pizza?
I did get a pizza at the airport, so it doesn't really count. But they took us to
Was it
like
in Old Chicago?
No.
That'd be hilarious.
no, it was like this little mini deep dish place. But we went to a nice steakhouse, and actually the vendor who we were visiting, the menus had their logo on them because they had like a partnership with the restaurant. It was pretty cool. But
So they fed you for free?
probably not. It was pretty pricey.
No.
But no, it was a cool trip. And then procedure went well. Obviously, I'm here. I'm healthy. So
Yay.
it was good.
Sweet. Luke?
I kind of mentioned two things earlier that I don't need to go too much in, but Shogun and Bad Batch both great. I finally finished Three Body Problem.
I wondered if you would. Yeah.
Nice.
It was okay.
Yeah.
You were right. Like the last couple episodes, once the thing shows up in the sky,
Yeah.
like it is more character stuff. But man, they just refuse to do anything interesting outside of like what's there's so much going on, and they throw around big words constantly to make it sound smart, and it is so annoying. Just saying crap to make it sound sci-fi. And
I think
like in the last episode, I was halfway through it. I'm like, this is stupid. This is stupid. And then every episode did this, and it was probably one of my biggest cons of the entire show. People ask questions, and the people who know the answers don't answer them.
yeah.
And as a viewer, that is extremely irritating because I'm asking the same questions.
Right.
Hey, what agents do you work for? Here's an answer that they can say. I can't say. Instead, they just don't say anything.
Is that Benedict
What's
Wong's character?
And Liam Cunningham. I hated Liam Cunningham in the show. He's like, we need somebody to do this. And they're like, oh, they never do it. That's why they're perfect. It's like, they're perfect for this job. So that's why, he's like always right. Oh, he's so annoying. I could not stand him. And they're going to freeze him. And it's just like, oh, I got to deal with him more.
I do think the later half of the season does suffer a little bit from the problem of the threat is so far away, and so what it allows for there to be more of those character moments, but it doesn't feel like there's really any danger.
And the most interesting character, in my opinion, dies.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a red herring that he's like never gonna show up again. Oh my gosh, their plan.
I was kind of surprised they went all in on the plan.
Not the plan.
Oh.
The sorry, slight spoilers. The results of the plan,
Sure.
I think, are disgraceful to sci-fi television and sci-fi stories. Let me do some basic physics. If you're moving straight in space and there's nothing that is going to mess up your path, you're going to keep going straight, and it just turns. It turns in space. You need an acting body against your movement to do that.
Right.
And that happened. I was like, there is no way they just did that. And they're claiming to be sci-fi. That is a law of motion. Newton, like, that goes back hundreds of years. And they effed it up so bad. I was legit, like, pissed off. Not to mention, like, where are the nukes out there? Because the shield was flying through them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they had to
They put them out
the
there.
Nukes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
It was so bad. I
Wait.
thought it was like disgraceful.
Well, we're gonna blow
Wait.
Tyler's mind here.
What are they nuking?
The shield.
a wind sail,
The radiation shield sail.
a radiation sail, to launch a probe towards the alien fleet.
Oh my gosh.
And here's spoilers if you want to
So
partake
I've
in the
not
show.
finished the
leave.
show. I've read the book.
So the point being, it fails.
In the show,
In the
a cable snaps, and it turns.
Just like you would, like, on Earth, if a ship, sail, like, if it
If, you're,
snaps,
if you got a wind sail,
the sail turns. The problem is
you let go?
There's no wind in space. It would slow down, but it would stay on the same trajectory. It could still completely ruin the plan and not break physics.
it will, like, that cable is going to be going everywhere.
You could have it mess up the sail. You could have the sail hit the next nuke, and all of a sudden.
Well, it's just like when
same
they
thing.
put the Webb telescope out. Their fear was that the thing would pop off, or the
Right.
little like mast that they
No,
built
there's
on
not. It's not a problem in the
So it's
fact
like there's
that
a documentary that
like,
tells
it
you how that would
happened.
work, that you could literally go watch on the same streamer. I've watched it. It's really good. It's kind of mind-boggling that they didn't get that right. Also,
I was befuddled.
Some producer was just like,
We gotta make this
We need to
cool."
make this visually apparent that it is all hope is lost.
here's the
But you're so right. Just have it, the sail tangles up
Yeah.
because the cable's going crazy.
Yeah.
Hit the nuke.
Hit the
and
next
it
nuke.
bounces off and it ricochets and we're just, we're Apollo 13 right now. We have a problem.
See, this was my fear when. So again, I've read the book.
Mm-hmm.
The book kind of takes place in like the 60s,
Yeah.
in like early 2000s, and like this is just modern day.
Yeah. It's just
And so I wondered with how they would blend that modern day technology into this story, if how much it would impact it. And it sounds like it impacts it quite a bit in a negative way.
And dude, just like the whole, like, you're a wall facer. What's a wall facer? You are. What do I do?
I knew that would get you.
I'm sitting there like, who freaking wrote this garbage? Is this in the book? Do they have this conversation in the book? Because the author needs to be slapped.
Do they have wall facers in the?
I don't mind.
I don't know what
in
that
the book?
is.
They are people who are
They're
chosen
meditators.
to
They're going to lead the human race.
come up with how to combat the aliens.
Dude, and they pick Saul, and he's just like, why did you pick me? And then the aliens are trying to kill him. They're like, why are you picking me? Can the aliens just see the future? Like, oh. Ugh.
They've got some really
They have
interesting
a
nuggets.
group that's trying to figure out what they're going to do in the book, but they're not like, we're going to combat them. They're like, hey, they have a time frame, but they're like, we have 45 years to prep the Earth for this. Like, we need to start.
They do it in like
developing.
2 weeks.
Yeah, no. In the book, they have
Yeah.
like in the first book. So in the end of the first book, like you just know of the aliens.
Yeah.
That's it. Like they're not. You know what the aliens have done to kind of cause problems for Earth, and that's pretty much it. Like I don't even know if they go into that in the show. Do they go into like the little miniature probe
cold-
things?
Oh, the siphons? Yeah.
Yeah.
The siphons are one of the most interesting parts of the show, I think. They're not well explained, but I think it's a fascinating idea.
How do they
of-
explain them in this show?
They move around the earth and just
They folded
they hack everything.
They folded space-time.
Oh, they made something really big, really
Really
small,
small.
because
And then they
small
can-
things that move 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second move faster than big things at 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. It's the same speed. Man, it's an entertaining show, but they need to hire a physicist.
Well, unlike
I don't think Neil
You know what it
deGrasse
is?
Tyson is doing anything.
You know what it is though? It's kind of the opposite of Oppenheimer. Like Oppenheimer finds drama in the science, right? And in the stories. And here they've instead opted for drama in the characters, which I think that part is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
But then spectacle and and drama in the. I guess right now it would be Spectrum because it's really not action, but it's not in the nitty gritty of the science. It's just it's in how it's shown.
No, would be a great opportunity to kind of lean into that Oppenheimer-ness. Would be, the two girls, I don't remember their names.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of at odds with what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
They go more into it with the dude. Instead, they should have maybe done it with, I need you to build this sail because you're the only person that can, and she doesn't want to because she already hurt a bunch of people with her technology.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
Character work and science.
It's already there, and it's already set up, right?
Is
like
she
there's
the nanotech
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
there's already some natural tension there. You could have just explored it a little more.
Is the nanotech boat scene in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it cool?
It's very cool, and they still really have never explained
It's-
why they had to do that.
It's kind of cool, and at the same time very like gratuitous. Like it felt like it was just
It was shock value.
yeah. It felt like a shock value.
It's right up the
Even
showrunners. Oh, no wonder.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
D&D.
No, I don't. Yeah.
No, I'm back to physics now.
Uh,
They don't know. They're used to fantasy. They were
Were they-
making Game of Thrones,
Rules
which
are
is
fast and
magic,
loose, yeah.
and then they were in Star Wars for 3 months, which is space magic.
Space magic.
Man, I should have thought about that. Hire a physicist. Just ask them, hey, if this cable breaks, what would happen? Nothing. It would just, it's not speed, it's not, you're not going to have the means to be able to speed it up anymore because your
Yeah.
mode of
Transportation
transportation and
busted.
thrust has been destroyed. So you're just,
I just find that, I don't know. Do you spend any time with the aliens?
in the VR
Kind of.
and you talk to them. Like just
They
through the
communicate
radio
through this VR headset.
and TVs, and they like,
Yeah, they do kind of take over electronics the same way Zod does in Man of Steel.
Interesting.
Just briefly.
and they can just like hack your brain,
Yeah.
which it's
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 again,
like-
it's this kind of goes back to what Luke was saying. It's super vague, and they just say it, and then they use it as a threat, but then it's never really implemented in a way that's
You talking about the
actually
timer?
convinced as a threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the timer is one of the things. Is that we can control, and even again, look, we're kind of in full on spoilers here for Three Body Problem, but
The timer to me in the book is one of like the coolest things.
But they talk about that. They talk about how we can control what you see. But and then part of the problem is there's only 2 siphons, so they can only do so much, and they can only be in so many places at once. But at the same time, like, okay, well, you know who is actually in charge, right? And like, you could just take
that,
over that
yeah.
person's mind.
Yeah.
They openly threaten them.
So
and
do,
then
do they talk about how the siphons are their entire purpose in the book is to halt progress for
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's what's annoying about this is like it's modern day tech. So like they have the tech they would need at that point. With the book being set in the past, it's like no, they're preventing us from getting the tech we would need to fight back. That's why I feel like it's just such a weird like the setting they placed this show in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they put the siphons. They went back way a couple years or whatever. But like in the book, like they're playing around with particle accelerators.
Yeah.
And so like the siphons break all the particle
Yeah,
accelerators.
so that's
basically.
what they're doing at the beginning of the show is they're
Yeah.
breaking the particles. So
Yeah, because they talk
like,
about that in the first episode.
one of the things they're trying to do is okay, how can we keep the siphons busy by operating multiple particle accelerators in different locations?
Wait, so they know about the siphons?
By halfway through the season, they know.
they
about the
just straight up
siphons?
tell them about them.
Oh yeah. The aliens are just like
They're like, we've got 2 siphons floating around. We know everything. Go full Eagle Eye on them.
yeah.
Oh, it's Eagle Eye.
Oh, it's Eagle Eye.
Okay.
I watched that movie once.
Look,
I like that movie.
I don't remember it.
look, I don't know. I'm going to watch this show because I read the book. But like the book is really good. Like it's really good. So it is kind of
see-
mind-boggling to see that this is just not.
I can see that this.
I don't think
is
it's
like
bad.
Yeah, that's what's weird about
It's
it.
just as somebody who really enjoys like space science. Shadows of the Eclipse today.
Yeah.
I find it really frustrating that they couldn't just like Google something.
I get it.
And like it's really frustrating too when, and this is sci-fi in general, when they're just like, here's this new technology, but we're never going to explain it. You're forced to accept it.
Yeah.
That becomes really frustrating. Like that's something I kind of deal more with in something like Star Wars, where it's fantasy. It's like there's the Force. It's magic. It's there. It's in everything. Where it's like, okay, we're in 3-body problem. There's a Sophon. What is it? It's got to deal with it. It's there. There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
You're bugs. Also, I just want to say they like put that on the TV, and I was like, It's like, okay, I hate mosquitoes. And then, like the very last shot is he like takes him to a field of mosquitoes. He's just like, look at all these bugs, and I was like, I said that 4 episodes ago. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, the "you are bugs" thing is part of the book too.
Yeah. It's not.
Bugs.
It's not a bad like I kind of like what they do there at the end, but you're right.
They're like, you're annoying,
Yeah.
and we're gonna squash you out because you're being frustrating.
But we're bugs. We always come back. No matter how many ant traps I put out, they always come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like we can be that persistent.
That's
as
not
a
that
race.
They
Like,
throw
I think
that as
that's
an insult,
interesting.
and it's like, oh,
or as a species.
cockroaches survive nukes.
Bring it.
Bring it.
Bring it, right? Like yeah. So like I think my hope would be that season 1 walked so season 2 can run
If they get a season 2.
if they get a season 2.
I'll read the second book and let you know.
I would like to. I think I would like to read the books.
Finish the other book I gave you, and
Okay.
then you can borrow it.
Okay.
Man, I'm sitting
Before
here.
I have too many books on loaner.
Like, I love the first 3 episodes when an alien race is like, we have 3 sons and it is just causing issues.
Yeah.
And I just wish the story was, can you help? Because, like, that's one of the best parts about Arrival. Alien race shows up and they're like, we need to teach you our language because in the future you help us. Awesome. A non-evil alien race. Who would have thunk? Brilliant. But no, they're just like, we're going to kill you. Here, yeah, we're going through some problems. Pretty bad, right? We're going to kill you.
We figured out interstellar travel, but
We're just really
this
slow.
is the only, and your planet is the only inhabitable one.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, do you want the moon? Mars?
It's like, hey,
Can you survive on Mars?
We'll nuke Mars. We got all these nukes. We could send a sail and a probe to you using these nukes, or we could terraform Mars using these nukes, and you can be neighbors.
I'm sure they have great technology to do that kind of stuff. They could ask them, hey, like, do you guys breathe? Like, or do you, how do you guys communicate? Is it through telepathy?
We're so far off course.
Imagine a story where it's like, hey, we're aliens, our planet is dead, and we need your help.
Do they show them?
There is a book. Actually,
Is it called Sleep in a Sea of Stars?
no.
Because you haven't read that book.
It's called Ender's Game.
Oh. I watched part of that movie on TV, and I was
That
like,
movie is not a look. That book would be incredibly hard to. I think that
the problem is
book
it's a
is-
book, and I don't want to read.
I know it's such a good book, but it's incredibly hard to adapt into a movie, let alone one
Diddy!
that people
Diddy!
will think will make money.
Villeneuve.
So,
Oh, I was actually having this
and it
conversation.
sets up my favorite book of all time. I think the second book in that.
Shadow or whatever?
Shadow of Mordor.
Uh,
So here's a fanbox question,
okay, yeah.
because I was actually talking about this with Logan, and we were like, man, there's like, I feel like a bunch of the great iconic books have been adapted recently. Like we had the Lord of the Rings, and it's like, man, is anybody ever really gonna do better than that? We just got Dune, and so I was like, what is the next great book that you think would be adapted?
Like a big thing.
Yeah. Well, could it be Ender's Game where like somebody takes it seriously, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Here's this epic sci-fi
Dude,
story."
it is. Yeah, Speaker for the Dead is the second one, by the way. There is
Speaker.
Ender Shadow. That's a whole nother thing. But absolutely.
Like, could we finally get that crazy adaptation of like 1984 or something?
Yeah.
Like, what's the next book where people go, "Oh wow, they're going for that," and it's just like 11 Oscars,
I mean, it's
full sweep.
I think Dark Matter on Apple is going to be a pretty big one.
Here's the problem, though.
but-
It's going to be on Apple.
It's on Apple and it's a TV show, so.
But
it's
is that
different.
considered an iconic book?
I mean, I think so, but it's. I mean, it's.
I don't think it's
It's not like that. It's not like Ender's
It's
Game.
It's not, yeah.
Because I'm like
I think
thinking
it
of the
will-
books like
my
they're
guess
like
is it
forced to
will
read
be.
in high school.
I bet it will be an iconic book,
Eventually.
given enough time.
The other one I would say, A Gentleman in Moscow, which just apparently had an adaptation. I was talking about this like 3 weeks ago. I was like, man, I really want that to be adapted because that was a fan box question, and then it's Ewan McGregor.
Oh.
Yeah, it's him and his
Huh.
wife
Huh.
are doing it. It's on Paramount. I was like, what? Like,
Elizabeth Winstead.
yeah,
Oh, but it's on Paramount.
yeah, which I don't have. So.
Dang it. Remember when
I just canceled that. Oh no.
Remember when shows used to be put on TV? That's great.
I'm trying to think of what the next big book would be.
We're getting Shogun right now,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know
and I guess that was a huge book.
Fourth Wing.
I mean,
It's huge.
when you talk about
You want to talk about scale? I mean, that thing is. No, it needs to be Don Quixote.
Is that the guy who fought windmills?
Yeah.
Epic.
I don't know. I don't know what it would be.
I'm just like waiting for like somebody to
What's-
announce a book is being adapted, and it's just going to be like this 3.5 hour epic type.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to say. That's hard to say.
I don't know.
We finally get a like a Fahrenheit 451.
They tried to do that pretty recently though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and it was horrible apparently.
Yes.
The HBO.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
And Michael Shannon. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that seems like a
Good cast.
Good cast.
Yeah.
couldn't make it work. Oops.
They tried Brave New World. Foundation's already happening.
Baroque says over in the chat, can't wait for the film adaptation of the 2,500 page Journey to the West. I am not familiar with Journey to the West. I don't know. I don't have a huge, like, library of books I've read that I can be like, I can't wait to see this because I just
Not a book reader like me.
yeah, somehow I read more books than Luke. I'll never read as many books as Tyler, though. I don't know.
And I have not done great lately. So
there's
but, yeah.
there's definitely ones that I want, but I wouldn't say they're classics or epics or whatever. Like they're just niche things. So
Classic.
I'd love to get
epic
the opportunity
books.
to see a Tales of Merlin series.
The Odyssey. The Iliad and the Odyssey. The Iliad Part 1, Part 2, The Odyssey.
Maybe.
Beowulf, Epic of Gilgamesh, The Divine Comedy, War and Peace,
Oh, what's the
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost was the one that I think
Derrickson was working
Derrickson
on.
was working on it. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. Paradise Lost.
The
So many of those
Canterbury
classics
Tales,
get stuck in development hell.
Hamlet.
The Dark Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Shogun. Moby Dick.
I mean, I think we're kind of seeing, and it's weird because of the rise of big budget TV, right? But like,
Oh, here's
the
Sir Gawain in the
the
Green Knight.
Silmarillion is essentially
Yeah, that was one.
like
pretty
it's
recent.
not in truth because it's not the Silmarillion, but like the Amazon Middle Earth show is kind of trying to do something along those.
They're trying, but
lines.
they're not really allowed to.
Right? Yeah. But they're kind of like got the like Winky go ahead to use things.
Jason in the Golden Fleece. Oh, that would be awesome.
Honestly, it's amazing to me at this point, and I've not read any Sanderson, but anything he wrote, like
I feel
Mistborn
like
and all that
he
stuff.
must just have a super tight
He
grip
has all his.
on that.
He publishes all his own stuff.
Yeah, and doesn't want an adaptation right now.
Narnia. Can Netflix nail Narnia? I trust Greta Gerwig, but do I trust Netflix?
That's the question.
A
Yeah.
Tale
From
of-
the studio that brought you.
Oh, here's a good one. The Three Musketeers.
Mm.
Let's get a legit Three Musketeers.
It's been a while
Without
since we've
Kiefer
seen...
Sutherland and Charlie Sheen.
We did just
I love that
recently
movie,
get.
though. Don't even care.
We did just recently get the. Oh my gosh, Killers of the Flower Moon
Yep.
was one.
Tale of Two Cities. Ivanhoe.
I mean, we get like Shakespeare knockoffs every other year.
But what if they just did the real thing?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, here's the Gunslinger.
Yeah.
So there's lots of potentials out there. We just need writers with vision and producers with
Trust.
trust, I guess. Yeah. I definitely think classics aren't in the like instant go-to that maybe they used to be, because people are looking more at what is trending right now.
Well, maybe they should,
Fourth Wing's going to get made before Three Musketeers, because Fourth Wing is in the zeitgeist, right?
Maybe they
Like-
should set the trend instead of following it.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what it should be? I got it. Hyperion by Dan Simmons.
Ooh. All right.
I've not read it. It's on my bookshelf, and I want to read it. I just, honestly, like, this is going to sound weird to say, but I just don't have the stones to read it yet.
Yeah.
It intimidates me. It's not even that long. It's like a pilgrimage story,
Yeah.
and it just intimidates the hell out of me for some reason. I don't know why.
I'll tell the joke after.
It's like a sci-fi fantasy story about these guys who go to this place where time stops.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds kind of cool. That's pretty neat. All right. Well, hey, we are running up on an hour 45, so let's wrap this up.
We had to make up for our 30-minute episode.
We did.
last
We had a
week.
short
Yeah,
episode.
like I
last
tuned
week,
in, and you
so
guys were like flying
we
by.
just
Like, what the
through
heck?
it, so, I mean, we didn't have that much to say about Godzilla times Kong.
Well, the one thing I want to talk about is something I don't want to ruin.
Yeah. Fair enough.
God,
well,
it's so freaking funny.
I want to, yeah. We'll talk about it when Tyler's seen it. Anyways, thank you for tuning in this week, watching and commenting here in the live stream, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening via the podcast. Thanks, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.